I don't know, foraging the way we're talking about it is going into the woods and hopefully sustainably harvesting something from the woods that you can use in your medicine, your food, or maybe your bouquet. And sustainable means we don't want to harm, especially a native that's slow going, that is maybe endangered. Definitely don't want to harm it. So if you want a good rule of thumb, if you're taking a leaf, a berry, a bark, a end of a limb, and you're not killing the plant, you're cutting its fingernails basically. But not if it's endangered. Do not ever pick the flowers because the seeds want to go back and grow. And so it's responsible to educate yourself whenever you find out what something is, what its status is.
And then Miss Lynda came out here and was telling me about the medicinal uses of all this stuff right here, and it was like, man, it's a way for folks to literally grow medicine.
That's a good place because all the leaves make it so
See? It's called betony. It's a radish. This is what the natives ate, and it's all through here. And I think that's why I have so many stomach issues, is because I don't eat like I'm supposed to, like my people were eating for thousands of years, and then all of a sudden we eating garbage.
This is a wild onion, sometimes called wild garlic. The bottom's like a shallot. The tops, like he said, are kind of a mix of garlic and onion flavor. The flowers are edible. The stems are edible, but they're not soft, and they're fibrous. So that makes them hard to chew up. What I do is put them in a blender with some broth or water, blend them up, and then put them in ice cubes. And if I'm making a soup, I'll just throw one of the ice cubes in there.
This part right here is this is the part I ate the other day and put in my pasta. And I do it right now, but I still have a lot of talking to do, and they do smell like onion and garlic mixed together. It's like I've never tasted anything like it before ever.
There's a thing called the Doctrine of Signatures, and it's that herb, how it looks will tell you some about what it does. And this herb is very good for prostate gland. And that looks like a prostate gland, doesn't it? I mean, if you just think about it. This is spiderwort. You can eat the flower. They're very delicious. You can eat the leaves. We have taken the stems and cut them and sauteed them like asparagus. This is a plant most people will remember. Thank you. Thank you for your limb. This is a plant most people will remember because when you're a child and you find something like that, you do something with it, you know, like put it in your mud pie or something.
So that's almost like an aloe vera, the way the gel is.
Yes. Yes.
But you could fry that part. That's the part that you say you could put in there, like an asparagus? Oh, wow.
And then the leaves, they stay tender all summer long, and you can use them as greens in your salad.
Ah.
That is one of the most beautiful stands of plantain I have ever seen.
Oh.
And that's cleavers on top of it.
Cleavers?
And so something bit me, let's just pretend. Super slippery like okra. And then you would just put it on the bite and leave it there and walk around, and it will actually draw too. Here it's gone to seed. And so if you want to grow this, you just take these seeds and throw them where you want to grow it. It's pretty easy to grow places. And then the part we're going to use medicinally will be the root. But look at all these trees out here. It's a very good insect repellent. So if you were out here and bugs started biting you and you didn't want to go back, you could just rub this on you. Crunch it up and rub it on you. And beautyberry is the same. We'll find some beautyberry around the corner. This is not, I don't think this is native, but it's a great pass-along ornamental, and obviously it has some great properties. It never was really scientific. It was my escape from scientificism. How do you say that? Science. It It was also Sandy King that I keep mentioning. She was a botanist, I was a chemist, and it was just so refreshing to be taught the herbs we were not taught by someone who had a Clayton College or a textbook. We were taught by this guy from Butte, Mississippi in the woods who had studied Vedic knowledge for decades. He just was walking through the woods one day and I said, wow, why did God make all this? And so that's who I learned herbs from, that they have a personality, that the same person who created the herbs created us, and that's why they work so well together. So I'm very blessed to have that as my base of knowledge. And now I'll take my chemistry and go find polyphenols and, you know, look at that aspect and, oh yeah, the antioxidants work, but we know that there's something about that herb that knows with our body, there's something about our body that makes those two work together in perfect harmony. And he's got like,
and it tastes like asparagus.
Those are corn-fed smilaxes.
Mr. Franklin put something in my mind earlier the other day about native farming, like encouraging things that grow out here native to grow and be that kind of steward of the land. That changed my whole idea towards my approach to this place.
Yep. Magnolia has 2 CBDs in it, 2 of its own novel CBDs. One is for inflammation, arthritis, the other's for anxiety. So I started looking, and if you go to the health food store and you go to the anxiety medicine section, all of the herbal formulas, Magnolia, 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 it's in the Relilor, that popular one, restores adrenal glands, helping people sleep through the night. It's the bark or the cones. The cones are really special. They come once a year, but you can get the bark anytime. That brings up invasive medicine, which are things that have gotten away and taken over. And honestly, they're not there to aggravate us. They're there because we tore the land up and it needs healing. Kogan grass, for instance. We've just had those fields out there and depleted them of any nutrition in the soil or minerals. And the Kogan grass comes and covers it. Well, Kogan grass is used in facial moisturizers because it brings moisture. And so we can't hate the Kogan grass because we made the place for it to come heal. We made the bobo. Just try not to make bobos on the earth, and we won't have to have these fits about invasive things. And I just told y'all the herbs will show up. Well, here's a yopon next to a privet.
Wow.
Do this one to me and make sure. But here's how I know. They taught me. The yopon has frillier leaves. Oh wait, this is the privet.
Here it is.
There's the yopon. They're growing so close
right
together,
here.
y'all. Yeah. Isn't that exciting?
Wow.
So you can see the serration on the leaf. And you can see how they're not growing right across from each other. But the privet has no serration on the leaf, and they grow across from each other.
Aaron, did you have one of these?
So we talked about the yopon holly and how it has some caffeine and it's really good for pain. The privet, the coronavirus, starts with a sore throat. And so what we've done as mothers for 25 years is anytime anybody starts to get a tickle or a sore throat, we put privet and sage together. And we have our children start taking that. This is in the olive family. And one of the most popular antiviral herbs is olive right now, olive leaf. Every time I go to that Galloway farm, I just go, oh, he's got olive leaf. So I had a friend that came and she had taken an herb class and she read that oolong tea would make you lose weight. And so she, every morning would get her mist tea, put oolong tea and whatever she had learned in the herb course that she could take. So one year she did privet flowers and she became not allergic to privet anymore. Wow. And she lost 123 pounds just by that behavioral change because she said, first of all, when you drink herbs every day, herb tea, you get to where you can move around more, and then you don't have time to be drinking Cokes or anything like that because you got to drink your herb tea.
Right.
If you can eat the fruit of the tree, you can use the leaves thereof. Thank y'all so much for coming out today and learning about the herbs, and I hope that they'll become part of y'all's life too, like they have ours. And just remember, you can never go back. You'll always want to know more and more about them, and they'll bless your life.
Thank y'all for taking this tour with us. Hopefully one day real soon you could take this tour in person. But the reason why I wanted to share this space is because so much information has been lost. And like Miss Lynda said, once you go down that rabbit hole, once you start, how'd you say it? Once you start, once you start, you can never go back. And that is the truth. Once I learned what one of these wild herbs was, it just made me curious about everything I see out here now. So I want to be able to share that with all of y'all. So when the smoke is clear, you're coming out to the sanctuary and we'll show you around.